So the purpose of this meeting is to adopt a fiscal year 2025 tentative budget. I will open the public hearing on the tentative budget, and we'll turn the time over to our distinguished clerk, Mr. Trent Triple.
Pursuant to Idaho Code 311604, I am presenting a balanced budget for the ensuing fiscal year, and you are convened to agree on that tentative amount per office and department for the FY24-25 tentative budget. That budget number for the county funds and the pest and mosquito districts is $364,836,598.
Okay, well, as we finalize the tentative budget, and again, this is the tentative budget, we will not adopt the final budget until the latter part of August.
20th of August.
The 20th of August is when the final budget will be adopted. And what this tentative budget means is we can subtract from it, but we can't add anything to it. So after today, the budget numbers are pretty much locked in, unless we want to take something out of it. Is that correct?
That is correct.
All right. Well, as we prepare to finalize the tentative Ada County FY25 budget, we'd like to take some time to thank the Idaho legislature and the governor for providing Idahoans, at least Ada County particularly, with meaningful property tax relief. HB 292 and HB 521 made a difference to taxpayers in Ada County and throughout Idaho. And for that, we're grateful. In Ada County, out of about $300 million in property tax relief, $100 million of it came to Ada County and went throughout all of our taxpayers got to take advantage of that. And as a result, we had the lowest level of protest for our assessments ever, at least in recent memory. And we want to thank everybody for that. We call the Ada County, our Ada County employees, guardians of taxpayer dollars. Even though Ada County's population continues to soar, the number of employees who serve these customers remains steady. This despite the fact that Meridian, Kuhn, and Star have experienced triple-digit percentage growth. 557,590 Ada County's 2024 population. Ada County has 39 employees per 10,000 people in the county. That's lower than it has been for years. What's it typically been?
41.
41 per 10,000 employees. This year it's 39. Our budget is driven by increased requirements of the state of Idaho to perform certain services. One of those is we're hooked up with Public Employees Retirement System. They had a huge increase in the premium, and so we had to pay that. Therefore, we only had a 1.78% increase, budget property tax increase, as opposed to the 3% that's allowed by law. We only took 1.78, and most of that was driven by the increased PERSI costs and the increased Central District health costs. Is that correct?
All of it was.
All of it was. Okay, every penny of it was increased PERSI cost and the Central District health cost. We'd like to thank all of our elected officials and the 13 county department heads that presented the FY25 budget to us, and for the clerk's office for the hard work that the clerk put in, helped us get to this level. Budget presenters were asked to include what they had accomplished with their budget, efficiency, and cost-cutting measures. If you want to see how each department fares under this budget, you can go to, because the clerk's office has prepared the Budget Explorer tool, and you can figure out everything that goes on with our budget. It's an easy-to-use tool, allows you to see how small of an amount the services we provide, how much it actually costs you. And so with that, I'll ask Commissioner Davidson, did you have anything you want to say?
I just wanted to thank the clerk's office for all the tremendous work that you put into the budget and meeting with all the department heads and really stressing to them the message of the commissioners that we need to cut where we can cut and find savings. And I think you really were able to hold their feet to the fire to produce some great results. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Commissioner Daly.
Yes, just to hear to both what the chairman said as well as Commissioner Davidson. Thank all those that were deeply involved in the budget process, especially our employees who followed our request. That was to look where we could have savings. The budget increases appear to be the lowest that we had, both historically as well as for the other taxing districts in the county this year. And that was basically how our employees responded, elected officials, employees responded. So again, follow the chairman's lead. Go to the website so you can detail exactly what's there, what we did, and how we did it. But thank you to everybody that was involved, especially the employees that helped us do it.
Thank you, Commissioner Daly, Commissioner Davidson. Again, this is a team effort. We couldn't do it by ourselves, and we wouldn't even try. But we have a good clerk is Johnny on the spot, help hold us to the line, and it might be noted that there is a provision of law to use the foregone, and the foregone balance is when we don't take all of the 3%. We can later go back and claw back some of that in if we need it for certain purposes. Now, it's recently been limited to 1% of our property tax budget, and we haven't taken any foregone in my recent memory. I don't know when the last time we have, but it is available there, and it's limited to 1% unless it's for capital projects. Is that not correct?
That's correct.
If it's for capital projects, we can use a little more than that, but we haven't done that, and I might add that this is our fourth budget year that Commissioner Davidson and myself have done. It's the second budget year that Commissioner Daly's been involved in. And in that period of time, we have only taken total 4.78% increase in the total property tax budget in the 4 years total. And we've taken no foregone. And we do that because of the hard work of our employees and the strenuous and hard work of our budget staff. We want to thank you again, Mr. Clerk, for helping us, and your staff for making sure that we get that done. Because that is our objective. We want to get the best government possible. It's always been my mantra that my goal is to have the best government possible for the least amount of taxpayer money. And I think we've accomplished it in each of the years. So I guess I have to close the public hearing.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, go ahead.
Just one follow-up of what you just said. Because the numbers have increased year over year in terms of our total budget. But part of that is actually what you said, using the foregone balance that we actually saved money from previously appropriated monies, and we were able to use it this year. And that's one of the reasons our total overall dollars spent went up. But it was just utilizing money that we saved from not spending what we actually appropriated. So I think that's what the citizens need to know as well. We've been good guardians of the money this year as well as last year.
Yes, and we've never used any of the foregone. So, hey, great, thank you. Anything else? Well, with that, I'll close the public hearing on the adoption of the tentative budget for FY25. And I'll need a motion to pass it.
Mr. Chairman, I move to consider and publish the tentative budget for all county funds and the pest and mosquito abatement districts as submitted by the county budget officer, causing a notice to be published setting forth anticipated revenue, property taxes, and proposed expenditures, and stating that the Board of County Commissioners held a public hearing for comment and feedback on June 12th at 5 p.m. and held another public hearing on July 30th at 6 p.m., at which time all the county funds and the pest and mosquito districts' requests were reviewed and will subsequently fix a final budget and make appropriations to each office or department of the county and the pest and mosquito districts at the August 20th, 24 open business meeting.
I second the motion.
Okay, you've heard the motion. Is there any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye?
Aye.
Motion carries. And the purpose of this meeting is to adopt the tentative FY25 budget for the Emergency Medical Services District. Okay, so I'll open the public hearing on adopting the tentative FY25 budget for the Medical Services District. Go ahead, Mr. Clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Commissioners, pursuant to Idaho Code 31-1604, I am presenting a balanced budget for the ensuing fiscal year, and you are convened to agree on a tentative amount per department for the FY24-25 tentative budget. For Emergency Medical Services District, that tentative budget is $26,141,900. $43,647.
Okay. Okay, we are in a public hearing. Is there any additional comments? Did you want to make any comments, Commissioner Davidson?
Well, again, thank you to the clerk's office for helping us get a good budget for EMS. Now, of course, it's not without challenges because the EMS, emergency medical services, are really constrained in how much revenue they can raise. And our EMS director is constantly reporting to us that because of those constraints, we're having trouble keeping up with the growth. And so we want to have a robust EMS system in Ada County. We want to make sure that if there's an emergency and an ambulance gets to the individual as fast as we possibly can. But again, there are some constraints in the law, and I think, of course, at the end of the day, it's up to the citizens of Ada County to decide how much of an EMS system they want. Some counties barely even have one. They exist on volunteers. And so it's not a requirement. It is something that if the citizens decide they want more services, more ambulances, they have to communicate that to us because nothing's free. But it's very possible that the growth and the citizens will demand that we change the funding formula for EMS. Since we are the capital city, the highest population, a lot of people here, a lot of needs for ambulance service. Again, if that's what the public wants, they need to communicate that to us in their legislature. In the meantime, I think we're still doing a great job. All the reports we get is that the service levels are very high, very, very few to no citizen complaints received in this office based on EMS service. And so I think we've got a good budget, and the EMS will continue to do a great job with what they have.
Commissioner Daly, do you have anything you want to say?
Yes, just briefly to thank the director, EMS Sean, for his creative and diligent management of the growth. This is one of the services to the county that people generally don't focus on until it's needed. The expectation when they have somebody with a heart attack or a medical emergency, they want the response to be timely and effective. That's being done for our county based on what the employees are doing and how they're managing the budget that we have. So thank you to them, and thank you to Trent again, the budget officer's ability to help us do that.
Thank you. I might add that the EMS is, we are really fortunate in Ada County because we have a consolidated emergency medical system. Not all counties have this kind of service. And so some of the counties have multiple districts and they have a hard time funding it. And we of course have funding issues because of the property tax limitations, and we've done a couple of things to try and buttress that. And if we could ever get the feds to move on the Medicaid thing, we would where we get paid at least a little from from the Medicaid patients that we carry to the hospital. And we're primarily a transport service. With our EMS shows up at a scene, and a thing that should be noted is approximately 80% of all calls to 911 is for medical, not fire. Medical, and we bring an ambulance to every one of those calls, and if needed, we transport them to the hospital. So we are fortunate in Ada County. We've got a one of the best, if not the best, EMS service in the whole state of Idaho, and it's because of the people that we have working it, and the way it's been organized in Ada County. It just works really well. So is there anything else we need to add to the budget? Clerk?
No, sir.
Okay. Well, with that, I'll close the public hearing on the.
Mr. Chair.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Mr. Chairman?
Yeah.
One more comment that you prompted my thinking about. We did, in fact, again, within our balanced budget, and what we did that we explained, that the budget officer explained earlier, we did increase the number of 911 calls, and as you pointed out, calling people, the personnel there. We did increase that this year, again, within our personnel as well as within our budget. So that's going to give a response time. As you pointed out, the majority of the calls to 911 are EMS calls. So another kudos to all the players for helping us do that.
Exactly. What do we have, 6 people to the call center?
That's correct.
And that'll keep the response time, hopefully it'll keep it down to standards, because we want, because as you know, if you call an ambulance, you want them there fast. And that's why we did that with, but that was in our other budget. All right, if there's no other comments, I will close the public hearing on the adoption of the FY 2025 tentative budget for the Emergency Medical Services District. Hearing being closed, is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move to consider and publish the tentative budget for the EMS Emergency Medical Services District, hereinafter referred to as the EMS District, as submitted by the County Budget Officer, causing a notice to be published setting forth anticipated revenue, property taxes, and proposed expenditures, and stating that the Board of County Commissioners held a public hearing for comment and feedback on June 12th at 5 p.m., and held another public hearing on July 30th at 6 p.m., at which time the EMS District requests were reviewed and will subsequently fix a final budget and make appropriations to the EMS District at the August 20th, 2024 EMS Open Business Meeting.
I second the motion.
Okay, you've heard the motion. Is there further discussion on the motion? Anybody from staff want to discuss it further? Okay, thank you. Hearing no further discussion, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. So, once again, thank you and your staff for doing a great job, helping us do a good job for the citizens of Ada County. And I think that citizens of Ada County should be proud of all the work that's been done here to get us the best services possible for the least amount of money.